Hello and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle, and I am here to do a love reading for Capricorn during Venus retrograde. And I'm really, I'm really sliding in here at the end. We only have this going on for the next couple of days, which is awesome. Yay! I mean, retrogrades are great for a lot of reasons, but they can be really frustrating. um, and I don't know how this one's been for you, but I'm looking forward to things going back to a little more normal, whatever that means. so, but this reading is it's looking at, um, whoa, yeah, there's some confirmation. What are we looking at? We are looking at what's going on for you in love during this time. And Venus has been in retrograde for, I think, like a month and a half or something. So this is a period of time where you've been kind of going within, doing some assessing, figuring out what's working for you, what's not working for you. It's not really a time to make major decisions. Um, if it is, you may come to a point once Venus goes direct where you're like, oh, wait, I don't want that. I thought I did, but it's anyway. Let's just dive in. I'm going to use a spread that I found on Pinterest. Excuse me. And I'm going to be using the Tarot of Mystical Moments. We'll be asking some questions. So the first couple questions is what are your strengths? Your strengths in love and how you receive love. Six of Swords. You're not interested in drama. You're not interested in conflict. You're like, can't we all just get along? um, if you find yourself butting heads with someone, if you find that you're not seeing eye to eye, you're more the type to, at the very least, be like, well, let's agree to disagree. Like, I just don't even want to get into it. Um, but I think, there's something here about like trying to see your person's perspective, trying to find common ground, um, despite, you know, the black clouds that might be there. You understand there's more to the story. Someone just said this in a reading recently. There's your truth, there's my truth, and then there's the truth. So everyone's got their perspective, seeing things through their own filter. And so it's understanding, like, whatever you're dealing with, there's always going to be, if there's always a dynamic, there's always, it takes two to tango, right? So um you're you're more interested in, like I said, finding common ground, which is really great in a relationship particularly. And good morning, Jojo. Welcome. Have an awesome day. Thanks for showing up. Okay, and then again, this is another card about your strengths in love, and how you receive love. The World. Huh. This is a very interesting image. It's there's something here about having been through something, been through a major cycle, to the point where you've mapped it all out. You've had this template that you've been using, couple different ones maybe. I don't quite understand what this means, but it's through your experiences, I guess. You have come to this point of You've figured out you figured things out in a very detailed way. And so when you I mean, that's the thing. The world is all about it's a major completion. It's like the card of graduating. You've figured everything out, which allows you to move on to something new. You've learned your lessons. And you are open. You are open to something new. You are open to receiving what you deserve. You, through all of this, through having mapped everything out, you understand the roads that you want to take and the roads you want to avoid. You've already been there. There's no point backtracking. Unless it's a road that you're like, oh, this one's really pretty. I'd like to go back to that one again. And I mean, ultimately, you know what's best and right for you. And that's the direction that you're able to move in. Um, it feels like when, because with how you receive love, it's like we all have baggage, right? But you're not carrying a lot of that baggage forward into the next thing. You are able to allow something to close out so that you can start fresh. It's not easy to do for a lot of us. So the fact that you are able to do that even a little bit is huge. That is a huge strength. So then what's your weakness? Your weakness in love. Wheel of Fortune. it I'm getting a sense that maybe you there's something about idealizing love a little too much, or idealizing what you perceive love, romantic love, to be like. That in your mind it's sort of like all these gears, all these cogs working together, which, yes, is true, but I think that there's not a lot of space for allowing the messiness of love. You look at it in a very, um, how do I explain this? It's like, it's like, this, when this lines up, then this lines up, then this lines up, and then everything's good. A well-oiled machine. And yes, it can end up being like that, but typically there are there's always hurdles and obstacles to navigate. Um, but it could be that you you forget that sometimes, or you overlook it, or somehow your heart is caught up in needing things to be a certain way, which, kind of one of the biggest points of a romantic relationship is that we are there to teach one another. We are there to broaden each other's horizons, to help each other expand beyond our normal, whatever we normally see, or how we normally see things. Okay, so um so let's look at your future soulmate. and see who they are, what they're all about. Ten of Swords. They are they're working on closing out a cycle. They've been hurt very badly. They have felt betrayed by love. They have they have feel like uh, the situations, the connections that they've been in prior to meeting you, um, were all about head games, and they're just like, I can't do this anymore. This came up for. Did this might have come up for Sagittarius? I don't remember, but they're feeling I have a feeling that they're gonna be a little bit gun shy. That closing out this cycle, they're done. They're not gonna put up with any kind of shenanigans anymore, any kind of head games. They're much more able to see red flags maybe, but they could be, like, hyper vigilant about, like, cutting anyone out who, at the slightest upset, they're like, "Oh, this is terrible. This is wrong. Here's the red flag. I'm running the other direction." You may need to be patient with that. Um, Keep those lines of communication open. If you feel them pulling away, if you perceive at all that something is strange, just talk about it. Just be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I just noticed this. Does this mean anything about us? Just, kind of hold the space for them. Let them know you're there to listen. That you don't have bad intentions. They'll come around, I think. I mean, they're your soulmate. Of course they're going to come around. Three of Pentacles. This is someone who it's really important to them to be on the same page, to be able to collaborate. Um to just know that, whatever it is, whenever they're in a relationship, there needs to be some kind of balance. And I think this is what they haven't really had before. That maybe they were the ones left doing all the work and the other person was kind of like directing them, you know, like some couples where, the one person, usually it's not always, but usually it's the female. It's like, hey, it's the honeydew list, right? Like, she could maybe do some of those things herself, but she kind of becomes complacent. Is like, "Honey, will you just do that? Hang the picture for me. Just do that thing." And it's like, I think your person is much more interested in someone who's gonna be like, "Hey, we got some stuff to do. Let's do it together. We need to paint our house. Let's have a painting party." Like, there's whatever you do together, it's it's done together. There isn't someone who's kicking back just watching while the other one does all the work. Um, which I think is really great for you because I think you really appreciate that. You People with a lot of Capricorn in their chart typically um, get a lot of satisfaction out of doing their work, out of um, working on projects, and there's something there that it's very meaningful to you to be able to produce results in whatever you're doing, and you're very driven in that way. And so to meet someone else who has um a similar mentality, It's very pleasing to you. You're like, wow, someone who gets it, who thinks the way I do, who wants to work on projects with me. And regardless of what it is, whether you're working on something or you're just out and about and you're doing stuff, it's a partnership. It's great. I love it. Okay, so this final question, what is holding you back in love, is it's not necessarily you could be with someone now or you could be single, but this is kind of generally what trips you up. Page of Swords. It feels like you just the fact that he's standing on the books here and he's got the dandelion, like kind of shaking it, dispersing the seeds. I guess it could be a couple things. You could have a couple people in your sights where you're like, well, I just need to learn more before I make a decision, or I just need to kind of spread my love around and see what takes hold, see what starts growing from it. Hi, Stoned Epiphany. Welcome. Um what is let me get a clarifier on this page of swords. This is what's holding you back. Seven of Swords. Okay. You're you're a bit of an overthinker. You feel like you need to get all your ducks in a row before you can take action, maybe. Um, I think it kind of ties in with this card where you may feel like you want things to be very tidy, to you, you want to have a clear sense of what you're dealing with before you jump in. It speaks to me of wanting perfection, your idea of perfection. And when you don't have it, when you don't see it, you're reluctant to take any steps at all. The word or the term I'm trying to think of it. Taking imperfect action comes to mind. You're afraid of taking any steps until you know the whole story. This is very common, I think, particularly for earth signs, because you want to be in control of your outcome. You want to be control of everything because you don't want to find yourself stepping on a landmine. But taking imperfect action is understanding that you just have to begin. And yes, there are going to be landmines along the way. Um, they're not meant to shut you down. They're meant, I mean, this Seven of Swords this is actually a really beautiful, this is the most beautiful Seven of Swords I've ever seen. And it doesn't, typically Seven of Swords is all about like um, deceit, lies, things that happen in the shadows. There's nothing like this going on. There's protection here. Protecting what's yours, protecting your babies, whatever you're birthing into the world. There's beauty here, a focus on beauty, and um, there's a sort of agility, like there's flexibility, being able and willing to let your light shine, to show off your magnificence as you're in this energy of protection. Yeah, that's what this is. This is what's holding you back in love, is that you're protecting yourself. This happens to all of us. It's you get hurt, you don't want to end up in that place again. You don't want to be hurt again. None of us do. But the whole point is not to protect yourself to the point where no one is allowed in. This is opening yourself up, needing to open yourself up to allowing someone in to come in and nurture your babies together, whether that's literal or not. Okay, so let's go to the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Sovereignty. Sovereignty. This is what I was speaking about. You you have come to a place in your life where you want to be in control. It in a very positive sense. Like you know who you are, you know what's important to you. You're very independent and strong, confident. She's actually holding the moon because this is the queen of the moon. Um, she's holding an egg. Like the two of them are holding their what they're in charge of, holding what's important to them. She is clutching it very tightly to her chest, whereas she she has it. She's holding it very firmly, but it's out. It's not a part of her. It's out a little bit. It's connected to her, but she's not like clinging to it. It's like it's almost like a tool for her growth. Queen of the Moon, using your intuition. I mean, this whole deck, it's the Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is about using your intuition as best you can all the time. Can't happen all the time. I mean, I guess I suppose it could. Not easy though. um, wisdom. Gaining This is about gaining wisdom through the experiences that you've been through. Knowing that you have you have what it takes to isn't that interesting too? You have the ability to gain knowledge. They're both standing on books here. Piles of books. Maybe a part of what's holding you back is that you reach a certain point and you're like, okay, like I've learned enough. Now I can, impart what I know to the world, or, uh, you know, you kind of stop. Whereas I feel like your advice is about continuing to reach for more, continuing to tap into your intuition, knowing that you're never done learning. That's part of the wisdom. There isn't a stopping. There isn't a closing you and what's important to you off from the world. And then the two birds up here too. This is what you want ultimately, is the freedom to be with someone, to play, to fly, to, there's space between you, but you're doing it together. It's that dance. Redbeard, welcome. No, the game, it never ends. This game of life. Blossoming. Yeah. With wisdom comes growth and flowers. Blossoming. Being, you know, it's sort of that, like, you learn the thing and then you do the thing. And as you do the thing, you get better and better at it. It's funny. It makes me think of the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. And if you haven't seen it, it's great. I love that movie. But it's basically the Arnold Schwarzenegger character. He has all this knowledge. He's so um educated, but he has no life experience. And Danny DeVito is kind of the opposite. And it's needing to combine that, the book knowledge, whatever you've learned from reading, and then going out in the world and applying it, actually trying it out, seeing what works for you. And that's where you figure out what truly works for you. It's fine and good to read it in a book, but then you actually do it and you're like, oh no, I don't like that. Or yes, I do really like that. That's really fun. Whatever it is. I'm going to get one more. Hunger. The wolf moon. As you blossom, you become hungry for what you want. The more you do something, once you've figured out what it is that you actually like to do, it kind of lights this fire in your belly, and you're just like, yes, yes, I figured it out. Yes, this is what I want. Okay, I'm going to finish off with a, oh, if I can get it, my chakra. I'm going to do a chakra card. Pick a card. Pick a chakra card for you. Okay. Root chakra, capability. I remove obstacles from my path. I can actualize what I set out to achieve. I cultivate my strengths and capabilities with focus and determination. I am brave, strong, and capable. I am strong. Yes, you are. Cultivating your strengths and capabilities with focus and determination. Love this. This is what this Venus retrograde is all about for you. Is tapping into your strength, understanding what you personally are capable of, and what, being sovereign unto yourself is precisely that. It's knowing exactly what you can handle and what you can't, or knowing that you are capable to handle anything that comes your way. You have the ability to move the obstacles from your path. But it's, it, and I say this a lot, it's when you encounter those obstacles, they're not meant to stop you. They might stop you temporarily because you have to figure your way around, up, or over, through, but it's it's meant to help you to become a better version of yourself. It's meant to help you tap into that strength and know that you can handle anything, really. So there it is. Thank you. I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing.